And the last question, which y'all can't see because the comment's real small, is my thoughts on cellars, canning, being able to smoke your own food, things of that nature. So I'm a little torn with this one because there are two things at war right now with me, right? Like part of me is like, everybody doesn't have to do everything. And also, I think if you're going to do it, you need to be the master of it. And this idea of building a farm community that is interdependent but independent from the grid and independent from, you know what I mean, the corporations and the big farms and all the other kind of stuff, it does kind of come into play where I think there is a level of knowledge that everybody should have. If you're going to have vegetables and grow vegetables, you should be able to know and teach people how to grow vegetables and have vegetables and can them. Same thing for livestock. If you're going to, have livestock, you need to know how to butcher them. You need to know how to teach people, hey, this is how you cold smoke. If you want to do salmon, if you want to do bacon, if you want to do all those things, I think you should have that knowledge base because I think it's actually important so that you could preserve not only the food that you spent money on, because we do know that regenerative agriculture does not produce cheap products. So you spent your money on it, you want to preserve it, but also because we know that it's good food and it's not filled with preservatives, we know that the shelf life is not that long. But on the other hand, I do think that is a place that a person in the community can feel where they can do all of the smoking for everybody, they can do all of the canning for everybody, and thus, you know what I mean, like, hey, I'm gonna buy from Farmer Joe who grows vegetables, I'm gonna buy like 2 or 3 bushels of tomatoes. I'm gonna buy, and I'm gonna can those and do all kinds of stuff with those. Make your sauces, make your whatevers, and then just sell the cans. And then when people want to buy tomatoes, they just buy fresh tomatoes from the gardener, and then they'll buy the canned tomatoes from the guy who's buying from Farmer Joe directly. But there's also the thing of, hey, this guy can be the person who makes bacon for the community where, hey, I'm gonna buy 2 or 3 pigs, make a couple slabs of bacon, make some hams, do some homemade pepperoni, things like that. And at that point, you're basically gonna just become a butcher and be that for the community. But that's an ideal world. So I would say there is some level of knowledge you need to have. Having a cellar, I think, is fantastic, right? Because there are some things that you just shouldn't store in the fridge, right? Onions shouldn't be stored in the fridge. Garlic shouldn't be stored in the fridge. And a lot of those things have a super potatoes. They have a super long shelf life if you put them in a cool, dry environment. If you want to make your own cheese, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So I think having a cellar is also very important. But I don't think it's a necessity. I think that's something that, you know what I mean, if you don't want to have a room dedicated to that or something like that, you could dig a cellar. A little bit more of a, old school type of thing, but I think it'll work. It really depends on kind of what you eat on a regular basis, what you want to keep on your farm on a regular basis. And then if you have the time and the money for the infrastructure and the learning curve, because all of it's going to come with some level of new understanding.